again, this misperception that somehow Africa is always in conflict. The vast majority of Africa is peaceful, it's stable, it's democratic, it's moving towards markets and capitalism.
Africa is on the rise, and that is a fact.
If you look at, for example, the top 10 fastest growing countries, globally, I think something like half of them are African countries. Within that, if you've visited Africa, it doesn't take you to be a genius to see that, there's a lot of things that are needed. There are a lot of problems. We have problems with electricity, we have problems with poor roads, we have problems with accessing various goods and services. All these really translate into investment opportunities.
One of the things that's very attractive to investors about Africa is the catch-up potential. But I prefer to think of it as an S-curve. That catch-up, that S-curve potential is phenomenal in Africa, and I think it's the single most attractive thing.
In very many sectors that you look at, there's just a huge supply-demand gap. There's no question that if you can deliver the goods, there will be a market for those goods.
I mean, what you're seeing is the exponential growth of the economies, of many of these economies. Nigeria, for instance, is now the largest economy in Africa.
Raw materials in abundance in Nigeria. Technology, yes, you can bring it. And skilled manpower, Nigeria has it in abundance. And all these variables are things that really contribute to making investment worthwhile.
Well, you want to see investment in Africa that leaves something behind. You want to partner with African companies so that they can create their own opportunities. And I think that they can bring their capacities, marry them to your capacities, and then I think everyone wins from that.
Many people have looked more at those challenges, dependencies, infrastructure. Yes, there are problems, but are they problems that are insurmountable? I don't believe so.
Most of them, I would say, infrastructure is number one, whether it's power, energy support, roads and transportation networks, looking at distribution and logistics. All of those things are very important throughout Africa.
There's a deficit of power. If you look at the Congo, there's a great Inga Dam that is being developed that has potential to provide 43,000 megawatts of power. That will probably be the biggest in the world. But it's also reported that it needs $80 billion and a lot of skill.
The second area I would look at is any kind of manufacturing that takes advantage of just not only a local market, but also regional markets. So I think manufacturing of food products, high-end fashion textiles, anything that is appealing to the growing middle class.
If you have a mining project, for example, there's a lot of heavy equipment that needs to go into that mining project. Being able to supply that equipment in a creative and innovative way would, be quite a good opportunity. So I think there are actually quite a broad range of different opportunities which would suit many types of investors.
If you look in Nigeria, the distribution has been privatized, generation has been privatized, the transmission is probably what the government is going to keep. GE has made some early entry, as well as some renowned global companies that are tapping into that.
One sector that's very often seen as a proxy for the development of an entire country, and particularly for GDP growth, is the banking sector.
In my particular field, which is communications, it is just going gangbusters. So what you'll see as you travel across Africa, you'll see a lot of the advertising money, a lot of being driven by cellular phones, mobile, broadband is coming into a lot of countries in Africa, places like Burundi that you wouldn't necessarily think as an opportunity. In some places, we're actually seeing technology leapfrog.
The telecom space will definitely continue to grow. It's shifted internally from CDMA technology to now we're looking at 4G telecom towers. You're starting to see technology companies that are taking advantage of some of the infrastructure that's been built.
You have technology. It's developing. Imagine you coming into Nigeria, for instance, and say you want to lay fiber optic cables, or you're coming in with, say, as an internet service provider, which is one of the major challenge, one of the challenges that we have. But it's also a booming angle. I mean, that's a good investment opportunity. You have agriculture.
In every place, people need food, and in every place, agriculture is a very significant and usually the most significant part of the economy. So you start thinking about the investment opportunities there are, both for young people, as I think in terms of careers and jobs and that kind of thing, but also for investors who are looking to say, how can we make a meaningful difference for linking farmers to markets and supplying the needs of consumers?
There's a tremendous, almost insatiable demand for opportunity, and if we can tap into that and begin to meet that, I think it'll have tremendous impact for years to come.